everyone, it's Jennifer Hoffman of EnlightenMeInLife.com, and in this little video I want to talk to you about the big pole shift and what we experienced yesterday. If you follow me on Facebook, I wrote that there was a sudden energy spin, like the energy started spinning in a different direction, and I want to explain what that means because it's actually quite significant for us. So imagine that this is you as a light worker. And remember, I've talked about the transition from light worker to light beacon. So as a light worker, and this is the path of enlightenment. So as a light worker, you've been working really hard for probably the last 10, 15, 20 years, and you've been dragging this behind you, or you've been walking this path and you're all by yourself. Now, it's been a tough journey because you are introducing this new age. Think of that word new. What do people do with new things? They resist them because it means a lot of change. It means a lot of doing things differently. It means everything is different, and people by and large don't like change. So you've been dragging this behind you. You've been pulling like this little circus show. So imagine the old-fashioned circus where you had, the person with the wagon and they have all their stuff and they pull into town and they try and show people, they entertain them, or they try and sell them medicine or something, and they have to convince everyone. Well, what's been happening over the last year and maybe up until like the last 5 years, but especially in the last 6 months, is we're seeing these massive revelations of fraud and corruption and dirty dealing, and the rise of the alternative media has become the new news source for most people because the other media just lies to us all the time. So what's happening is you are not just alone on this little journey now. You have a lot of people joining you on this trip. So rather than pulling this behind you, you've got a lot of people who are actually supporting this journey, who are wanting this next phase, this newness, because they realize the old doesn't work. So what has also been happening is as more and more people join this, it becomes bigger, it expands. And this journey that you've been taking as a light worker suddenly becomes much, much easier because there are a lot more people pulling load. Like imagine when you're moving house and you need to move your furniture, what makes it easier? You invite all your friends over and say, hey, I'm moving, can you come over and help me load the truck and pack the stuff? And the more people you have, the shorter time it takes. I remember when I helped my daughter move a few years ago, there were 20 people that all came over and helped her, and we had her entire house packed and the entire truck loaded in a day, and she had a lot of stuff. So the more people join us on this trip, the easier it becomes. Well, what happened yesterday? There were so many people now on this journey that rather than this thing existing in the 3D space, it turned around. So now we had not just all of us, all of you light workers now shining as light beacons, but the energy of the combined people on this journey became so great that it just flipped it around. And we've talked about pole shifts, and we've heard about pole shifts and how the earth is going to, shift its pole, like the earth will turn upside down or something. But what if the pole shift is actually energetic? Because the earth is an energetic being, it's an energetic process. And what happened a couple years ago? If you remember, I think it was I'll have to look it up, but it's in 2000, sometime between 2012 and 2015. The sun shifted its poles, and the sun does that occasionally. It literally shifts its poles where the north becomes the south and the south becomes the north. Well, I think we did that too, but again, the process is energetic. It is not physical. It will have physical ramifications, meaning we'll feel different and different things will happen to us. We'll experience, the different energy, but the actual polar shift was energetic. It was not physical. So what we experienced is the energy that was going in one direction suddenly shifted. Now it's going in a different direction. So the people who need for the energy to go in the old ways are literally going to find themselves like falling into empty space. They're going to be without support. And we're seeing that all around us in the confirmation of people who have been acting certain ways now suddenly having no support for their actions, and their actions are being revealed, and everyone is reviling them because they've been doing all these criminal things and illegal things and corrupt things. So now we have this pole shift that has happened. So all the energy that's been flowing in one direction and supporting all of this, supporting the density of 3D, is now no longer there. So for everyone who has been doing their work, I mean, the people who have been working energetically and clearing their energy and focusing on creating positive change in their lives and in the world, those people are feeling like, yes, finally. The people who have fallen off of the 3D shift, they are really going to be struggling with this. So if you spent this past week, past few days with your family and with friends and with people in your lives, one of the things that I've been writing about on Facebook is the gratitude. Now, gratitude is about value. It's not about, gee, I'm so glad these horrible things happened to me and I'm so glad I have these mean, nasty people in my life. Gratitude is about value. What's the value of those people in your life? What has it helped you learn? It's about self-esteem, esteeming yourself, seeing yourself as valuable, which means seeing all of your experiences as helping to build that self-esteem, which means that in spite of all of this stuff that's happened to me, I'm a valuable person, I'm worthy, I'm deserving, and I'm going to create that more deserving path for myself. And this is all part of the pole shift. So it's not about tolerating and accepting in this form of tolerance. It's about accepting that you're choosing to behave this way. I want to be over here. So I'm going to shift that relationship, and that creates the pole shift. And what has really been supporting it, if you've been following, and I want to say alternative news because they're the ones that publish the truth now. If you've been following alternative news for the last few weeks, you're seeing that there's this massive revelation of information and all kinds of collusion and corruption, which has helped shift the balance. So now this whole 3D lineup, okay, you're powerless on this path and we're going to drag this along and hope that everybody will see the light, has turned into, okay, light's here, dark's out, and now what's the next step? And this is a powerful time for all of us. You know, as we're closing 2017, we need to be aware that we are moving into 2018, which is an 11-year. We don't get very many of those in a century, and we're getting into an 11-year. We've had the 11 energy, or the 111 energy, and sometimes, and especially this month, we've had days where we've had 5 ones, which is an enormous amount of change. But we've had these, since September, we've had an enormous amount of energy for new beginnings, and new beginnings require endings. So what ends so something else can begin? And this pole shift is a supporting thing for us in order to remind us that, number one, we do make a lot of difference in the world, and things are happening, and this is our confirmation. But remember, it's all energetic. We're energetic beings. We live in an energetic environment. Our bodies are energy. Our spirit is energy. Everything of us, everything about us is energetic. So look for the energetic results that will then translate into physical results. So know that your intention is powerful. Your desire for change in your own life and in the world actually does create a resonance that allows this to happen. So for those of you who've been pulling the light through 3D and hoping somebody will notice, you've got a lot of help and a lot of support. Now, let me show you this little thing. So say, okay, here's one little thing and it's kind of balanced here. Now, what happens if I add 10 of these? This would shift, and this is what happened. So the more people who come onto this timeline and say, no, we want more light, we want higher frequencies, we want high vibes, we want higher energy, we want truth, we want light, the more that stand on this side, it has to shift, and that's what happens. So the more people who moved over say, this is the dark side and this is the light side. So you've been trying to pull the dark side people over to the light, and they all came over, and then what happens? Boom, the light just shifts and everything turns over, and this is what we experience. So it's an exciting day. I'm really happy. I can see it in my own life, and I've said this to you many, many times. When you find yourself, you want to change your furniture around, or clean your closets, or organize your living space, or make changes that, areas of your life, those are all signs that the energy is shifting. So if you are cleaning madly right now and you are putting things away and casting a really critical eye over your wardrobe or the things in your house and deciding, I want to move this over here, I'm going to reorganize my cabinet, or maybe I need to paint my whole house, that's just a sign for you that this energy is really moving in your life. Remember to take care of yourself too. This can bring about a huge amount of exhaustion, physical exhaustion, because so much energy is moving. It can also make you feel sad in some respects. I felt that too, because we are leaving behind a significant effort and we are making a lot of changes, but the focus of your work is changing. The energy around what you do is changing, and this is going to change the energy of your mission, your life's purpose. Many of you are stepping into a new life purpose because a significant part of this mission of dragging the light into 3D has suddenly become, okay, let's let everybody experience 3D. What are we going to create now for them to be that light beacon? And this is what's important. The light beacon aspect becomes important. Now you need to be that bright shining light that goes, hey, look, the light's over here. Look how great it is. Come on over. And that's what will encourage people to keep on moving towards that light, to keep on shining their own lights brightly. So as I always say, shine on, everyone. We are making enormous amounts of progress. Let's end this year in style and with a massive bang of light and joy and high vibes living. This is Jennifer Hoffman. Thanks for watching. Visit me on enlighteninglife.com.